Hello, I am Sam Hayden-Harler and was diagnosed with motor neurone disease on Saturday the 5th of March 2022, aged 35 years old. A day that changed the rest of my life and my perspective forevermore. A small glimpse at my Instagram and TikTok will show you that as much as there is a serious side to why I've chosen to publicly share parts of my life, I still very much enjoy my life and can often be found posting videos having a dance to my favourite Spice Girls or Adele song. My outlook has never changed. I will not let MND define who I am. Nor does it control my life. I am not MND. It is just something that has become part of my everyday life. The last few years have been very busy, and some of the things that I've been part of include working with Coronation Street as part of the MND storyline that is currently ongoing, appearing on Good Morning Britain to raise awareness of MND, especially those diagnosed in the younger generations, research groups in connection to the MND adverts, shaping the content of those, and assisting the MNDA with multiple campaigns including Take Over MND, Carers Week and multiple photo campaigns raising awareness of those diagnosed just like me. A wise lady once said to me, also known as Mum, we don't know what we don't know. So I hope by sharing my story with you today, along with others who will share their experiences, we will all come away from today knowing more about what we perhaps didn't know before. Nobody provides you with a guidebook when you're newly diagnosed, and it is only through self-discovery that you slowly understand how your life is full of visits, appointments and referrals, to name but a few. Looking back on my first tentative steps into my MND journey, I soon realised there is very little guidance for anyone diagnosed in the younger generations. Much of the literature that is available does not accurately reflect that people are being diagnosed as young as 20. In my daily life, I often encounter others shocked to discover that MND is not an illness only seen in older generations. I have always been a person that if I cannot find something, I create it. So not only have I shared my life openly on my blog and my social media outlets, I recently set up an online community for those in their 20s, 30s, 40s and beyond. I wanted to create a space where others feel supported and others can relate to one another about their life with MND. I've been asked to share some of my experiences across services within Kent and Medway, and would like to thank Elaine from my local support branch for inviting me here today. I hope these highlight both positive and negative experiences and will allow for improvements in the services provided to ensure that those diagnosed with MND and those supporting and caring for them are supported in every way possible. I consider myself very lucky. Come on, Sam, pull yourself together. But I know others in the M&D community do not have the same experience as me, and that it's often referred to as a postcode lottery. This angers me to know that others in my position are struggling and are not supported appropriately. We should all have the access to the same consistent care and level of service regardless of location. I have a great support and care team that genuinely understand my needs and how symptoms differ vastly from person to person. They continue to support me, and together we're able to forward plan as much as we can. But the reality is that many services still have exceptionally long waiting lists. For example, it took 6 months to receive this wheelchair from the NHS wheelchair service. When considering the average prognosis from diagnosis to end of life is approximately 18 months to 2 years, 6 months is far too long. It causes significant issues for many people who find themselves stuck at home and on a waiting list. MND is an isolating illness, so we must do all that we can to eradicate unnecessary waiting times. I was referred to another Kent-based service in connection to discomfort that I was experiencing in my hips. The referral was made, which included details of my MND diagnosis. Although it was not known to what extent my mobility difficulties were shared, and despite conversing with the person over the telephone, in which I explained my hands and legs are very difficult to mobilise independently, this still resulted in an assumption that I could perform all of the exercises, which I simply couldn't do. I did end up speaking with the person to share that particular experience, and again it goes to show that there are often generalised assumptions made about my abilities. Time is not on my side. One of the biggest impacts on my life currently is the prolonged delays we are currently experiencing in having works approved in our wet room to adapt it to my needs. I will soon be at a point that I am not able to navigate outside the house, as the current access is being investigated, and again a prolonged delay in works being assessed and approved. We are almost 6 months along in this process, but still no sign of an outcome, and I worry soon that I am going to be housebound until these works are completed. Despite an urgent stamp on my record, there appears to be very little urgency in moving things along. This places a significant burden on my family. Whilst the care package is currently being put in place, there are continual delays due to unnecessary paperwork and so many hoops to jump through. I won't cry, I promise. One of the most impressive processes, and one that I believe should be an absolute blueprint for all services, is the assessment process for a power chair. Having previously waited 6 months for my manual wheelchair, I was fully prepared for an extremely long wait. However, my very supportive MND coordinator Kelly put me in touch with Maggie to discuss my current mobility needs. After having a great chat with Maggie, she understood and totally understood my needs as a person living with MND, and was able to educate me about things to consider to forward plan. as my condition progresses. She assured me that the process would progress swiftly, and true to her word, several days later I was booked in for a telephone assessment. Within a week I had a home visit, and a week later I was seen in clinic. I hope now to receive my power chair within 6 to 8 weeks, and thanks to the MNDA for funding some adaptations that I need. I thank you today for allowing me to share my story and my experience, which are both positive and areas which could improve. This will make for a smoother journey as others, including myself, navigate the many different services in Kent and Medway. I am not the first person diagnosed, and I will not, sadly, be the last. There is no such thing as a silly question, so please do ask away in the Q&A session. Thank you. Okay, stop.